Welcome back. So, Jordana and I are going to talk about voter engagement. Part of what we did that was different when we did voter registration on the reservations was being present. The relatives were more inclined to talk to us, I think, by being Native, because at first it was like, what are you doing? Looking at us sideways. Calm down, we're one of you. No. And so that was one of the advantages that we had. They were comfortable and open to speaking with us. And so when we talk about voter engagement, one of the things that we plan to do this next go around is we're applying to be a 501c4, so we can do campaigning on this end and with registration on this end, and still be able to support, registered natives, registered voters. And it wasn't just natives we registered whoever wanted to register. And we registered Republicans too. Mm-hmm. So we register everybody. We don't pick and choose, when we register. So we did a training and made sure that form was complete, that we had their ID. And so we want to do that again with the tribes. And we're not announcing what we're doing again on KOTA or all those radio stations in Rapid City, because we'll chase Republicans to the polls like we did last time. So this time it's just direct contact with the tribes. We're working directly with the tribes. So what we're doing here, we're going to offer to the tribes. We're going to do a Zoom and just see who shows up. See who registers from the tribes, because it takes a lot to go to drive to Wagner, or to drive to Sisseton, or to Standing Rock. So the next one we're gonna do, it'll be on Zoom. And so one of the things that we identified this last election was the importance of using the mail-in voting and absentee ballot application, because there are a lot of relatives who were in a wheelchair and didn't have access to coming to vote, lived off the road, had no car, had no vehicle. And just before 5 o'clock on election day, I got a call from Elder in Pine Ridge in Manderson. Can you give us a ride to go vote? And I'm like, okay, if I leave now, it's an hour and a half to get there. And I got there at 6:30. We had to go and take her and her niece, who was in a wheelchair, load them into my car, beat it to the poll, and get them registered, get them to vote. So we made it within the nick of time. So this next go around, we are going to encourage the relatives, if you don't have transportation, because sometimes it might be too cold to go out. Nobody wants to go out, or the roads are muddy. There's just there was always something that would prohibit. So in order to get past that, we're going to encourage those relatives to do the absentee ballot. So I'm going to let Jordana talk about the absentee ballot, and then this is what we're going to encourage them to do.
Yes. Okay. So process of an absentee ballot, it's very simple, very, very simple. You have to have a messenger. Elaine has been our messenger in the past. You have to assign your messenger, then they'll take it to the office, the auditor's office, and they'll get the ballot. Then they'll bring it back. Our messenger will bring it back. Fill it out, and then she seals it, and she takes it back.
So we sit there and we ask them how they want to vote. We read the ballot, and then they tell us, so we mark it. Then we seal it in the envelope.
Yep,
then we return it. So,
yeah, because we did have relatives that were illiterate, and did want to vote.
One was blind.
Yeah, and we had the blind lady, and they wanted to vote. They just didn't know what it was. They didn't know the process. They didn't know the wording. So I guess we kind of educate our people as we're going. But what else?
College students.
Yeah, college
college
students.
students. So this next go round for college students, we are gonna be working with all the tribal colleges and encouraging voter registration with those college students. Because when I was at Standing Rock, I had a grandpa come and he wanted his granddaughter registered, to get her registered to vote, but she was going to school at United Tribes in Bismarck. And he said, how can I do this? And I said, take this, I showed him how to fill it out, highlighted, this is what you fill out, make sure all of it's complete, take it to her. The fastest way, because we had the weekend.
Yep.
Fastest way, take it to her. He said, okay. And I said, you're gonna need a copy of her ID. And luckily I ended up going back up there on a Monday. So anyway, he brought it back and I was able to turn it in with all of them and they accepted it. But we don't want to wait for those last minute things. So this next go around, we're going to be, get in touch with all the colleges now and get them registered. If they have students at Haskell or in Albuquerque at Santa Fe, IAIA or AIAI, whatever that Polytech College. So we have natives that are going to school off the reservation. So this absentee ballot would work great with them, for them. So if you guys know of anybody, Josh, we plan to go on the radio, Keeley Radio. We got to set that up. Keeley Radio, and then Rosebud has a radio station, so we're going to go there. And KLND and Standing Rock and KIPI and Eagle Butte. Just those 4 reservations have radio stations, so we're going to go do radio shows and let them know we're coming to the reservation again, and getting people psyched up and excited like we are, to get on the bandwagon and vote. We did come across a few people who said, oh, I don't vote. I never voted. Why should I vote now? And a lady was in a wheelchair, and I was at Sandra, and she come wheeling by. What are you guys doing? She said, I see your sign. So I talked to her about our picture and what we were doing. And she said, okay, so I don't vote. Tell me why I should vote. Okay, do you have children? Yeah, they're all adults. Do you have grandchildren? Yep. Are you a landowner? Yep. So I told her, I said, as a grandma, because I'm a grandma too, I said, my children can't speak for themselves. My babies cannot. My tacojas can't speak up. I said, so their parents and me, I'm their voice. I speak up for my tacoja. The decisions that I make when I vote gonna affect him. So I said, plus I'm a landowner. And I said, I vote to protect my sovereignty. As a member of the Wawasee tribe, I want to be part of the group that protects our land base. And she's just like, okay, well, help me register then. So I was like, so, and then I called Keeley Radio and I talked to the general manager and he said, so what do you tell people that don't vote? And I told him the same thing. He's like, okay, so when are you gonna come over? When are you gonna come over and do your show? I was like, all right, I'll get back to you on that. But it's just, that's where I stand. I do this for my grandbabies.
I do it for my kids.
For our children, because as a grandma, I think back to when my grandpa was, he was quiet, he was reserved, but he spoke Lakota. That was his first language was Lakota. And he would talk to us. And I remember we just got done picking, he had gardens, big gardens. And it was potato field, he was working the potato field. Then down between 2 hills, we had corn. And then down by the creek, we had the watermelon, everything that grows on the ground. And we just got done pulling weeds at the potato field. We're sitting there taking a break. And then he started talking about the government. And he said, one day the government's pushing us up a hill. And when we get to the top of that hill, it's a cliff. And he said, we have to take care of our land. We have to, be prepared for that when that time comes. He said, one day we're going to have to pay to live on our land. And that day's now. We have to pay. So the land I own is with the tribe. And we have to pay $25 a year, which isn't much. It's not much to be able to live on on the land, so, which is good, because we have somewhere to go to, you know? I love the city life, but I also love the country life. Our neighbors were coyotes, you know?
Yep, yep.
A few mountain lions, but, you know, that's what I protect. You know, that is why I'm involved, you know, to protect that.